On The Young and the Restless, Adam discovers the truth about Sally and Nick, and Elena breaks up with Nate. In today's episode of The Young and the Restless, Victoria gives her brother a stern warning, Chloe offers her opinion, and Kyle springs a surprise on Summer. Sally appreciates Chloe staying late at Crimson Lights, and her COO is curious about her conversation with Nick. Sally implies that he was positive, but she doesn't elaborate. Chloe is relieved to hear that everything went smoothly and assures Sally that she only wants the best for her. Nick Newman is raving about how hard she fought to get here. He's completely smitten with you. Sally scowls in discomfort. When she asks Chloe if there's anything she needs to talk about, she says she can tell her anything. Sally claims it's Nick-related, although the issue has nothing to do with work. Sally admits that she and Nick's relationship has become very intimate. Chloe finds out they were making out and thinks to herself, these things happen. 2 or 3 cocktails at supper can cause you to lose your faculties. When it happens a second time, Sally wonders if it was a mistake the first time. There's some thinking time Chloe needs to do. Sally admits that it was completely unexpected, but the results have been incredible. Chloe raises a beckoning hand. Oversharing, Nick tells Adam at Newman Enterprises that his ex-girlfriend can have business dinner with him if she wants to. By their expressions, Adam concludes that they were not discussing profit margins. Nick says that he's letting his imagination get the best of him. Adam is waiting for him to admit the truth. Nick advises him to be cautious and reminds him that envy isn't attractive. Adam makes a snide remark about how Sally is using Nick as payback against him. You're the fall guy. After I hurt her feelings, she moved on to the next available Newman. Nick claims he is completely clueless. You don't know me or Sally very well if you think that's what's going on. And since he hasn't denied it, Adam knows it must be true. Nick avoids answering his questions, but he won't let his brother leave. We've reached the end of the road. Are you for real, Nick? Adam challenges. He is not going to leave with his tail between his legs, and he is only getting started. Seasons of The Young and the Restless Williams, Paul. Sally goes on to explain that Nick is honest, engaging, witty, and listens to her viewpoint at Crimson Lights, but that they don't put a label on it. When she's with him, she's completely content. In a sigh, Chloe says something. Sally may be making a mistake by dating not only her boss but also Adam's brother, Nick, despite her positive impressions of him. Her concern is that Sally hasn't really moved on from Adam. Sally will arrive safely. In her warning, Chloe emphasizes the chaos that might arise from overlap. The question is Adam familiar with Nick? Sally claims that he has his suspicions, but does not have any concrete evidence. That's not good, Chloe protests angrily. Sally notes that they had gotten along fine, even when she and Nick ran into Adam and Chelsea at a restaurant. Chloe is relieved that her life is so mundane because that sounds like the worst night ever. Sally is forewarned that Adam will become a tyrant if he suspects that she is having an affair with Nick, and that he will lose his cool if he learns the truth. Summer and Kyle exchange passionate kisses as they celebrate the eve of their vow renewal at the Abbott estate. Kyle tells her to go to the bedroom because he has a surprise for her. He can find out about her day later. After a short walk, Nate returns to the penthouse in the hopes that things have calmed off. Because of what he's doing, Elena still thinks they need space from one another. We have a reservation at the Grand Phoenix. Asked by Nate, for how long, she has no idea. Nate suggests they resolve the issue at home, but Elena is against it. She can't be with him now because of how she feels. To do so would only exacerbate the situation. Nate is frustrated because she doesn't see things from his point of view. He's blinded by his own greed and ambition, and he thinks his view is the only one that matters, but Elena sees what he's doing and doesn't like the man he's becoming. He places his desire for power above all else, including his own family. Nate says that's not true. He doesn't place a high importance on being in charge, especially of her. Even though Elena is willing to go to any length to help him, he refuses to take any of her advice. The truth is, Nate doesn't require her to come to his rescue. To have your affection and backing is all I ask. He sighs and says, but I guess I was expecting too much. For some reason, he's starting to see her point of view, that they're better off apart. Kyle gives Summer a passionate kiss when she closes her eyes in their bedroom. He then attires her with a woven straw hat. She removes the item from her head and opens her eyes. Summer thinks it's adorable but questions how often she'll actually wear it. There must be a clue there, she thinks. Kyle agrees and nods. He tells her that they are going on a honeymoon to Costa Rica, where she can wear her straw hat with pride. Summer shrieks and bounces into his arms with excitement. Subsequently, she inquires about the honeymoon. With Kyle's descriptive description, she can almost feel the warm sand between her toes. After a passionate kiss and rapid stripping, Kyle promises to give her a sneak peek of what to expect in Costa Rica. Adam is curious about his brother and the woman he still loves at Newman. Nick assures him that Sally would open up to him about her private life if she wanted to. He thinks it's tragic that Adam has to go behind her to get to him. As Adam points out, though, this is really about him being harmed by him. "Here we go," Nick says with a grunt. Adam questions, "Out of all the ladies in this town, why did you choose her?" Nick assures him that life is about more than just him. Right as Victoria walks in and demands to know what's going on, things boil up between them. Adam says he came by to visit Nick, but is leaving now. He guarantees Victoria that he will see her again tonight, and tells her that Nick can fill her and Sally in on what's been going on. Adam says, "Until next time, brother," and then he leaves. A puzzled Victoria turns to Nick. What was that? According to Nick, Adam was merely engaging in Adam's usual pattern of behavior and seeking conflict. Victoria presses him for more information about his remarks concerning Sally. For Nick, it's none of his or anybody else's concern, so he assures her not to fret. Victoria is in opposition. "You and Adam have literally created my company." While Chloe is out with Sally and Nick at Crimson Lights, Sally vehemently denies the relationship to her. She would like to move on from the topic. Chloe suggests they start with the most vital issue. Inquiring, "What does your heart feel?" Sally realizes she can never return to Adam, but this time she won't let him hurt her feelings. Despite what you may have heard, Chloe was actually chatting about another guy, Nick. Elena has everything she needs at the penthouse, for the time being, at least. After all, as Nate points out, it's not like this is forever, right? It's time for Elena to leave. She approaches the entrance, halts, and turns around. "Nate, I adore you. I wish—" "I know," Nate responds, "me too." Away with Elena. Elena walks into her hotel room, sits down, and begins to cry. When Nate gets home, he pours himself a scotch, sighs deeply, looks at a photo of himself and Elena, and begins to pace. Observed by Victoria at Newman, Nick has emerged as Sally's staunchest supporter. He thinks she will be an asset to Newman Media. Victoria has faith in his judgment, which is why she gave Sally a second opportunity, but Adam seems to think that something is going on between him and Sally and isn't pleased about it. In a light-hearted tone, Nick asks, "You observed that too?" Victoria advises against making light of the situation. The only uncertainty is how severe Adam's reaction will be. Sally at Crimson Lights doesn't understand why Chloe is worried about Nick. "Why can't I find a good man?" The response from Chloe is of course. But she also knows how strongly Sally feels about things. "You know, what if Nick turns up and says it all simply happened? That's fine with you, right?" Sally maintains that they would have a chat about it and decide to cancel it. Even while she values Chloe's concern, she has no intention of letting her heart be broken. Chloe gently corrects her, saying that she should know better. Sally simply requires more time to come to terms with her situation. Adam appears at that very moment. After Adam says he wants to talk to Sally alone, Chloe has second thoughts about letting them be alone. It's okay with Adam, so she doesn't have to leave. All he needs is an honest response from Sally. "I know how I feel about you, and you know how much this is bothering me. So tell me, please. I want to know the truth, and I want to know it from you." There is a sigh from Sally. "Yes, Nick and I did have an encounter. Regardless of what it is, you have no right to have an opinion about it. We're no longer together. I don't have to give you a reason." Chloe follows her out the door, staring at Adam with her arms crossed. When Adam asks Chloe what's wrong, she tells him he brought this on himself by trying too hard. He made Sally turn the other way, making room for positive experiences. The thought occurs to Chloe that perhaps she owes him an apology. "I applaud your effort. Thank you very much." Kyle and Summer are snuggled up on the couch at the Abbott residence when Harrison calls to them from the second floor.